Hello, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Dr. Melissa Bonds of JMJ Consulting, and welcome to day one of 21 days of choosing you. Over the next 21 days, through these brief 10-minute segments, I will offer you tips and strategies that will help you move your dreams to reality. As we begin this journey together, I would like to offer you a couple of suggestions. One, be sure to record your steps. As you achieve success throughout this journey, you want to be sure to know exactly what steps you took to travel this journey. Recording these steps will help you to know what was successful for you and what wasn't successful for you. Second is gift yourself the 10 minutes. These sessions are very brief, 10 minutes. Give yourself the gift of 10 minutes. Take the time to sit down and make note of the tips that are offered over the next 21 days. You see, to be intentional about this change and to make it a lifelong change with residual effects on the desires you need, you have to take these steps. You have to make some intentional efforts to make some changes in your life. Accomplished people typically say, I'm too busy to consciously take the next step in their lives until something happens where they're thrust into a radical change. Connecting to these brief sessions is your first step, is the first step to moving from where you were to where you hope to be. Also, connecting to these sessions presents a tremendous opportunity for you as a gifted individual to examine yourself, to examine the opportunities that you're giving yourself to grow personally and professionally. Each day, each one of these sessions will be broken down into two parts. Part one, action. And it's simply that. Something you need to do to help move from step one to step two. Action. The next thing is reflection. I'll offer you some reflection questions that will help you to that will help propel your actions from just simply questions, but to move you to the next level. Okay, so let's begin. So I'd like you to take a moment for your action today. And I'd like you to jot down really quickly as many things as you can to think about you. What do you know about you? Jot those things down for me. Just take a moment. Remember, you're giving yourself the gift of being present and you're recording your steps. So take a minute to jot down those steps. Thanks for taking that time. Now, what I'd like to do is really ask you some serious questions. Here's the first question. Who are you? Seriously, who are you? If I were to ask you right now to choose 3 things that you would do alone, what would those 3 things be? Just off the top of your head, what would those 3 things be that you would do alone? Who are you? What do you like? What don't you like? Who are you? My next question for you is, what's your why? Why'd you set this goal in the first place? What caused you to make the decision to move from step 1 to step 2? What was your motivation in setting this goal? Was it because someone said something to you? Was it because you saw something that you were interested in? What was your purpose for setting your goal? What's your why? You see, creating vague goals is the difference between knowing what you want to do and being specific about what you do. See, when people don't know where they're going, it's really hard to get there. Many people set themselves up for failure when they set goals that are really unclear. So here's an example. If someone set a goal that says, I want to lose weight, that sounds great. That's a great goal. But guess what? They never reach that goal. Why? It's because there's no motivation behind it. There's no discipline. It's way too general. Now, if I were to say, do you want to lose 5 pounds? Do you want to lose 50 pounds? What's your goal? In my book, Developing Goals That Count, it's a workbook of helping you to set SMART goals. And SMART is simply that, being smart, specific about your goals, making sure your goals are measurable, making sure they're achievable, making sure they're realistic, and most importantly, give yourself a deadline. That's the difference between just setting a goal because you hurt someone or knowing who you are and setting a specific goal that counts. Now, if you can't answer those two questions right now, just make note of them. By the end of this week, I'm expecting you to have an answer for those goals. And I'm going to ask you, have you set those goals? Do you know where you are? Do you know where you're trying to go? Now, here's the thing. Determining who you are and learning you are key steps in moving your dreams from on a piece of paper to into reality where everyone can see. So here's your final tip for today. Take some time for you. Connect to you. Find a quiet place to think and meditate on those two questions. Find out who you are and what's your why. This is your first step. The answer to those two questions really help you move from being a starter to a starter who finishes. Confucius says the essence of knowledge is having it, moving from having it to applying it. Now you have some information. Go ahead and apply it. Tomorrow, we'll talk about the P word. Yeah, you know it. The P word. Procrastination. We all know it and we all do it. But tomorrow, we'll talk about what we need to do to pass through it. Thanks. By connecting today, you've made the decision to choose you. E.T. always says, Eric Thomas, make a decision to make a difference. You made a difference today because you chose you. See you tomorrow.